السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا بحضراتكم in case of the week 12 on our channel for the passion. This is a case referred to my center for third trimester for D scan, who was a 24 years old female with consanguineous marriage. The first synerope shows kyphosis of the lumbar spine with segmentation anomaly and hemivertebrae. Again, you will notice this on sagittal view acquired by linear probe. On the axial view, you will notice that there is 4 ossification centers instead of the expected 3, with 2 in front of each other at the expected anatomical location of the ossification center of the vertebral bodies. No evidence of spina bifida. Here is the segmentation anomaly with kyphosis of the lumbar spine noted again. And here is an image of the fetal foot showing that the little toe and thumb are bent. Another view showing the abnormal position of the little and big toe. And here is the chart of fetal growth showing that the fetal bones, you will notice that the fetal bones are all moderately to markedly lagging beyond the other biometry, starting from about 22 weeks to 25 weeks for fetal long bones, and the biparietal and occipital diameter at 29 weeks, and the abdominal circumference at 28 weeks. The humerus length is short. Also the radius, the ulna. And you notice here the bent little and big toes. They are bent not in a single row with the other toes. And here is the camptodactyly. Camptodactyly means a bent finger that can't be extended to its full extent. It's apparent in this image. You notice here a 3D image noticeable for the little toe, and there is a similar image for a case of camptodactyly. Here is the camptodactyly very evident. You will see that the middle 3 fingers are in row, and the big toe and the little toe are bent, so-called camptodactyly. Here is the kyphosis of the lumbar spine with the segmentation anomaly. And here is 3D rendering showing the multiplanar 3D rendering showing the abnormal segmentation anomaly with the 2 ossification centers in front of each other for the vertebral bodies. Again in multiplanar. And here is the fetal face, and you will notice that there is swelling of both eyelids, very evident. Here is the ectropion with swollen eyelids. You will also notice on the frontal view that on the spot, the source of light, spot of light reflecting good shading of light on the fetal face except of the fetal chin. This is because the fetal has micro-retrogressness that is very evident on the lateral view. Also, the facial profile is rather flat with a small nose. And the case has small outlet VSD. You'll notice it with no appreciable overriding right here. So that was about 3 millimeters. We will also notice the polyhydramnios. So the findings are the face, you will see microretrognathia, flat nose, protruding eyes with showing proptosis and ectropion. The spine focal lower lumbar kyphosis, heart a small outlet subaortic VSD measuring 3 millimeters is noted with abnormal cardiac axis showing increased levoversion. The extremities of the feet show little and big toes overriding the force of camptodactyly. Generalized marked rhizomesomelia with FLAC ratio is diminished about 19%, 0.19. Chest circumference abdominal circumference ratio is lower normal is equal to 0.80. Normal mineralization of wounds, no fractures, no bowing, normal epiphyses. Hand, arms, legs, and joints otherwise appear normal, polyhydramnios. On searching OMIM with kyphosis and micrognathia and retrognathia and short bones and the ventricular septal defect and polyhydramnios, only one entry was achieved, namely new laxova syndrome, and autosomal recessive syndrome that is lethal with multiple malformation with a risk of recurrence of equals to 25%. Here is the search on OMIM. Also, when we have searched the OMIM with ectropion and kyphosis and micrognathia and retrognathia and short bones and the ventricular septal defect and polyhydramnios, only the same entry, new laxova syndrome, namely, was also achieved. New laxova syndrome, a very rare syndrome belonging to the fetal akinase deformation sequence and invariably lethal with poor prognosis. Its inheritance is autosomal recessive with a gross prenatal growth retardation, head microcephaly, face sloping forehead, and micrognathia that is seen in our case. Ears are large ears, eyes hypertelorism, protruding eyes, and ectropion with absent eyelids, cataract, microphthalmia, absent eyelids could be seen also. Nose flattened nose seen also in our case. Mouth round, gaping mouth, thick lips, cleft lip, cleft palate, and neck short neck. Cardiovascular patent foramen oval, atrial septal defect, and ventricular septal defect that is seen in our case, and vascular transposition of the great arteries and patent ductus arteriosus, respiratory, lung, pulmonary hypoplasia, genitourinary internal genitalia male, cryptorchidism, internal genitalia female, bifid uterus, and kidneys, renal agenesis, skeletal, poorly mineralized bones, limbs, short limbs, flexion, contracture of joints, pterygia, hands, finger syndactyly, puffiness of hands, and camptodactyly that is seen in our case, and clinodactyly. Feet, two syndactyly, puffiness of feet, calcaneal valgus, and vertical talus. Skin, nails, and hair, subcutaneous tissue covered by thin, scaly skin, generalized tissue edema, absent scalp hair, absent eyelashes, and central nervous system lysencephaly, absence of corpus callosum, cerebellar hypoplasia, absence of olfactory bulbs, and hydrancephaly. Kyphosis that's seen in our case, spina bifida, dandiocca malformation, and choroid plexus cyst. Miscellaneous decreased fetal activity, stillborn, polyhydramnios, short umbilical cords, small placenta. Most patients are stillborn or die in immediate neonatal period. Molecular basis caused by mutation in the phosphoglycerate dehydrogenase gene. Take-home message: in case of bone shortening, you should analyze all bones, including feet, scapulae, clavicles, mandible, face, epiphysis, chest circumference to abdominal circumference ratio, FL to AC ratio, bone mineralization, bowing, bony malformations, joints, and movements in order to reach the most accurate diagnosis. New laxova is one of the fetal akinase deformation sequence that is lethal with autosomal recessive inheritance. We have elucidated two of the fads in our channel up to now. These are multiple tritium, kindly refer to case of the week 11, and new laxova syndrome. Kind regards and see you soon. Goodbye. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dr. Amr Farouk.